I am out for a morning walk downtown today with my garden supervisor. And it is a beautiful morning on the waterfront on Vancouver Island. So we're just gonna enjoy the nice weather, show you a little bit of our downtown waterfront. This is in Nanaimo, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. What you are probably seeing is the crabbing pier. I'm not sure when I point the camera the other way if that's what you're seeing. There we go. It's a nice sunny 12 degrees Celsius this morning. And here's my walking partner. This that you're looking at now is the Newcastle Ferry Terminal. There's no boat there right now, but probably later it'll show up. Okay, let's go. It's moderately low tide at the moment. It will get quite a bit lower, but they're definitely going in the low tide direction, it looks like right now. Come on, let's walk. More cookie? There we go. Here is a famous statue in our city. This is the Frank Ney statue. Frank Ney was one of Nanaimo's mayors for many years, and he was very eccentric. He used to dress up as a pirate, and that happened mostly in the summertime in the local parades. He also named some very crazy streets in Nanaimo, such as Twiggly Wiggly, and there's a couple other ones that he really gave unusual names to. And he died a few years ago, but this is like a little memorial statue in Nanaimo's most popular park to him. Okay, Zipper, let's walk. We're gonna try to see if we can walk by some of the little restaurants and shops today. The last time I came down here, Zipper didn't want to walk that far, so we'll see if he's going to walk a little further today. Okay, let's keep going. Come on, Zipper, let's walk. Here's the view from the other side of the, I don't know what you want to call this. It's not really a lagoon, but it's almost a man-made lagoon. So this park is called Mofeo Sutton Park, or Swalana Lagoon. A lot of locals just call it the waterfront, though. Come on, let's go. You just wait. Okay, good boy. Let's walk. not windy today. We've had a lot of wind lately, and it's really nice that the wind has finally subsided because the wind was icy cold, and now it actually feels pretty warm today. See if we can give you a little view of Newcastle Island. Oop. These boats in the distance, those are all sort of moored at the Newcastle Island dock, which is over here. This is Newcastle Island. It's a tiny uninhabited island off the coast of Vancouver Island. I want to say it's a 15 to 20 minute boat ride on the local ferry to get there. And nobody lives on Newcastle Island, just a few campsites and animals. Here's a nice piece of artwork in the park. And this tree, I believe, is called a monkey puzzle tree. Very cool looking tree. And here is a closer look at the crabbing pier. You can't actually walk down there because dogs aren't supposed to go on this pier, but lots of people doing their crabbing stuff here. And it's always pretty busy, so people must catch crabs. I haven't done that in, well, many years ago I've been crabbing with my family, but I really haven't done that since I was very, very little. Here's a little look at the ocean and the boats. This right in front of us is actually one of the main seaplane terminals, but there are no seaplanes here right now. Surprisingly, because they come and go quite often. And this little building that you see is a little restaurant that is pretty fancy actually, and expensive. And here's some gorgeous condos. They have an amazing view. Some of the tallest condos in Nanaimo are right here. Pretty expensive too, but I think compared to Vancouver, the prices are cheap. Like, I don't know the current price, but I'm estimating that most of the upper units are probably about $1 million-ish for probably, I'm gonna guess, about maybe 800 square foot condo, or there might be some 600 square feet ones, but I mean, maybe the penthouse is 12 or 1300 square feet. I'm not really sure. I'm sure that there's a few realtor YouTubers that could comment on that from Nanaimo. Come on, let's walk. Another cookie. This is probably one of Nanaimo's best tourist attractions, if we're being totally honest. We don't have a lot of tourist attractions here. This is the park where there's a lot of local festivals held in the summertime and even spring. Later in the spring there will be some local festivals here, and there will literally be thousands of people. It's kind of deserted right now. I mean, there's people here, but you don't see people that frequently. But in the summer it will be jam-packed. Just gonna see if we can make our way over to the little shops. And this guy is motivated this morning to walk a little faster. And some graffiti under the bridge. go up this hill a little bit and I'll show you a very old piece of history. I filmed a little Halloween short up this hill of Zipper wearing a ghost costume for good reason. This building here, I believe this was the old Malaspina Hotel. And I don't know when it was constructed, but I'm going to say probably early 1900s. It's been abandoned and closed down for, well, most of my life, if not all of my life, probably. I'm going to say all of my life. And kind of just left to ruins. Many different companies have tried to propose to tear it down and to build something else, and I don't know what the red tape is, but for some reason they built these condos literally adjacent to it and they didn't tear this building down, even though it is kind of an eyesore, although it's like a historical eyesore and probably a bit of a hazard, but nobody seems to want to tackle it, and I'm pretty certain it's haunted from everything I've heard. Here's some beautiful trees. In probably a few weeks, they're going to be in full bloom, and I'll come back and show you all the beautiful blossoms down here. We've got a lot of beautiful trees in this area. Okay, so we're going to go down this way. There's a better look at the seaplane terminal, where there's no planes right now. Looks like there's one of the ferries or a yacht leaving, a really big one in the distance. Hey, Zipper, come here. Might be the Gabriola ferry, or it is just a massive yacht. We do get cruise ships, but this is not our local cruise ship terminal. It's actually further down into the downtown area, so it's gotta be the ferry. Okay, let's walk. So what you're seeing are the Cameron Island condos in the distance. These used to be our tallest and most luxurious condos in Nanaimo. I don't think they are anymore. There's 3 of them, I believe, on Cameron Island, which was pretty much a man-made peninsula that was built up over the water over the years. And they're beautiful condos, oceanfront views in almost all the units. And I'm going to turn around. These are the condos that we were looking at from a distance. These are very expensive condos. Gorgeous view though. And I think they're some of the tallest in Nanaimo, in my city, on Vancouver Island. This is what they would have a view of. Very nice view. Probably in the $1 million range. Come on. Zipper. Nope. So here is the Lighthouse Bistro. This restaurant has been here for a very, very long time, pretty much my whole life. And it's pretty expensive, but the food is pretty good. Somewhat local. And that's the little marina attached to it with the seaplane terminal. No planes here. Okay, let's walk. Ooh, we've got some lovely hellebores in bloom. It's beautiful white variety and some purpley ones. There's the entrance to the Lighthouse Bistro. Come on, let's walk. Zipper. And here's where you would go if you were checking into the seaplanes. Harbor Air. Right over here. Sort of like the seaplane office, I guess. Oh, over here. Simmer. Sit. And this is for you, Doc PC, if you decide to watch. All of these lovely boats on the marina. Oops. Morning. And here's some of the little shops around here. Newfoundland to Nanaimo is a little gift shop. Here's another look at all the boats. Lots of fishing boats here. There's a little gas station on the water. Whoops. That they can gas up at before they go out. It's a petro can. And here's a little coffee shop. Tea on the quay. And an ice cream shop. That one is called Just Desserts.
You a good dog today? Oh, you are.
Nanaimo Bar ice cream here. That's gotta be delicious. Go, Zipper. Come on. Bye-bye. Jabberwocky Coffee House. This was one of the first places I ever applied for a job and had a job interview, and I never got it. But that's okay. I was only like 17, so that was a long time ago. There's a lovely Canadian flag, and we've got, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we've got an American flag for all the Americans out there, and I believe that is a British Columbia flag, if I can get a little closer here. I think it is. It's not really windy though. Good morning, Chris Outdoors, fellow Canadian. Nice to see you. I'm just going for a little waterfront walk this morning in our downtown on Vancouver Island. And this is a little fish and chip place. And let me tell you, it is super delicious. If you're ever in Nanaimo, highly recommend these little fish and chip places. But they actually aren't open that often. They're only open like maybe June, July, August, September, but most of the time they're closed. But a very good place if you're ever visiting the island. Here's a closer look at those expensive condos. And a nice fishing boat, Western Mist. It is a beautiful day today. It's about 12 or 13 degrees Celsius today and no more wind. It's been pretty windy and rainy lately. So it's nice to have a break. Yes, this is Nanaimo. We're gonna go walk down to the boat basin and take a closer look at the boats today. And we're approaching yet another delicious restaurant, which I don't think they're open yet for this season. I could be wrong about that, but this is a Mexican restaurant, and it is called Penny's Papilia, right on the water. There's a little fishing boat. And lots of sailboats in our city too. You can see a little bit of a view of the Port Theatre. That's our local live theater place for the few productions we have. Now that is a good use of duct tape, I must say. Morning. And there's a little view of some of the trees that have started blooming. There's lots of trees starting to flower now down by the water. It's warmer here than where I live, so none of the trees in my area are blooming, but probably soon they will. And here is the Protection Island Ferry Terminal on this boat. Yep, the water is calm today, that's for sure. And there's the schedule and fare. Morning. Zipper loves the attention. So that is, if you're going to Protection Island, this is where you are going to come to wait for the boat. It's technically a boat turned into a terminal. Okay, let's walk. We are not going there, Zipper. No island hopping today. We're just walking up this little pathway that basically is welcoming you to the port of Nanaimo. There's a little side view of the city. And some beautiful blooms happening on these trees. I'm not sure if these are ornamental plums, but they smell amazing. And some more blooms over here. Now the fragrance is so intense. It's almost too much because I'm very allergic, but it does smell beautiful. Here's a look at some of those expensive condos, the rooms without the view. And here we've got the Cameron Island condos. The tall building in the Cameron Island. Yeah, we could be about a month or so ahead of where you are. It's possible. And we've got a lot of ivy in our city. You go into parks, you see it on the side of the road. It's a thing here. Oh, I'm sure, yeah, those balconies would have a good view. Hey, we don't eat garbage, Zipper. No, no, no. Here's another one of those arbutus trees I pointed out on another walk. I believe these are considered endangered species in British Columbia. I think there's a nest in that tree. That is cool. I wonder if it's crow's nest or a eagle. Could be either, or something else, but more ivy. Here's a local recycling truck. We've got a pretty good recycling program in Nanaimo. Here's another look at our tall Cameron Island condo. Hey, Zipper, over here. No, no. And this is the condo on Cameron Island that would have probably, I want to say, better views than the tall one, but who knows? Right over there. Here's a nice little viewpoint. This is the Port Theatre that I was talking about earlier, where any of the local productions would be. This is our probably most famous hotel, which isn't really famous. It's called the Coast Bastion. It used to be one of the most pristine hotels in Nanaimo, but I don't know if it still is. It's luxurious, but kind of like an old style luxury, so hard to say if it's still the best. And you can see a tiny little view, let me see if I zoom in, of the Coast Bastion. Good morning, Sunfrog. Nice for you to be here. This is an iconic symbol of Nanaimo. It is, oh, where are we? There we go. Let's see if I zoom in a little bit. It is built by the Hudson's Bay Company, which is one of the original companies in Canada. They were bought out, I think, by an American company, but I'm not 100% sure. They built a whole bunch of bastions during the fur trade in British Columbia in, I want to say, the 1800s, 1900s, and very few remain. So this is like one of our historical buildings. We might get a little up close and personal later. And they have some cannons there, and in the summertime, I think it's at 12 o'clock every Saturday, they fire off the cannons. It's like an old historical practice. Kind of a cool building, and it is actually, it's pretty much like a mini museum. There isn't a lot to see inside, but it is cool. If you've never seen it before, it's kind of a neat thing to see. Maybe in the summer, I'll go and do a little live down there or something. Come on. Morning. There's some of the nicer boats parked along the water. We get a lot of yachts, particularly from the US, that love to come here, especially in the summertime. These ones might be local, so I don't see any American flags on these boats. Here's another view of those condos on Cameron Island. And the supervisor is definitely walking a good distance today, so that's exciting. And what you see, let's see if I can stop for a sec. Zoom in. I'm looking through the live chat and trying to turn it off, but it doesn't always work. This is kind of a plaza, which we might go to on the way back. It's 3 or 4 stories high, and each story has a bunch of different things. There's a fountain, a parking lot, and at the top is where we have local farmers markets. One of them. We've got a couple destinations for farmers markets, but it's pretty cool. I think every Friday morning in the summer they have a farmers market in that little plaza where you see the plants coming off the cement trailing down. That's a little plaza over there. Zoom out again. Someone's going for a little boat ride this morning. Whenever you see me do a little turn, that is Zipper getting twisted in the dog leash. So I have to do that every once in a while. It's like a lovely day to be out on the water. I haven't been in a small boat for many, many years. My dad used to have little boats when I was growing up, so we did go on the ocean quite frequently, but that was a long time ago. And these are lovely magnolias blooming in the condo gardens. I think the condos would be awesome if you have a good amount of money and you're an older person. They would be a great place to like live out your retirement years. There's, I believe, an indoor pool and a sauna and a hot tub in at least one of the buildings. I'm not sure if they all have that, but they're definitely pretty luxurious condos. I had a friend in university that their grandparents let them stay in one of those condos, so I went to their place to do a project, and it was pretty amazingly beautiful. And this is one of the bigger boat piers we're walking towards. Some of the more expensive boats park here. Morning. And here we are arriving right as I think the Gabriola Ferry is either coming or going. Check out the map. Which map is that? Did I miss it? We'll see in a minute. Yeah, this is the Gabriola Ferry. So it's quite a bit smaller. If you're not familiar with the ferries around Vancouver Island, this is a much smaller ferry than the ferry that goes from Vancouver to Nanaimo, or the two ferries. I don't know how many cars it holds. I'm going to say maybe 50 to 100. I'm not really sure. And I'm not sure on the number of passengers, but it is much, much more small. And I think it's going to load. I don't think it's leaving. I'm not 100% certain, but Google Street View. Oh, cool. Nice. And he wants a view of the action too. Whoa. Zoom out here. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's pretty intrigued by something in the water. You're just trying to get a good... Whoa, Zipper, we don't do that. No, 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 no. You are far too old for that. What are you looking at? Is there something down here that I need to know about? He absolutely never does this. I am not kidding you. In his whole life, he has never walked on these little cement sitting areas. So this is not good, but I wonder what he's interested in. He's very interested in something down here. But I don't know what he's actually looking at. I don't see anything weird down there. Maybe there's a really good smell of some kind. It's a mermaid. Well, if there's a mermaid here, I would love to see it. That would make an awesome YouTube video. Zipper, we don't. That is making me very nervous. You are so close to the edge. Come on, we're gonna get off here, Zipper. We don't need to explore further. I hope if there's a mermaid that I didn't miss the mermaid, because that would have been awesome. If he sees it and I don't, well, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I think the Gabriola is, I think this is protection over here. And Gabriola must be the one in this direction over there. And those are islands I'm talking about, if you don't know what Gabriola and Protection are. They're local islands off of the coast of Vancouver Island. Come on, Zipper. We'll get a little bit of a closer view of the ferry in a minute. The garden is actually quite beautiful around these condos. There's lots of heathers in bloom right now, and magnolias here and there. Come on. So this ferry is the Island Gawazis, looks like it's called. Probably didn't see that right, but come on, let's walk. Here's the review of the garden again. It's one of the BC ferries that connects all of the little islands to Vancouver Island. Come on. We've got a lot of small islands off the coast of Vancouver Island. There's a little bit of a better view of this Gabriola ferry. And it looks like it's unloading the cars right now. And for all the aquatic garden lovers out there, there is a little pond outside of these condos. And another little magnolia tree. Yeah, it is the Gabriola Ferry. Come on. Let's walk. Good morning. Good morning. Here's another look at the ferry terminal. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't disagree. Nope. That was not appropriate, little guy. Yeah, Vancouver Island is beautiful. It can be depressing in the wintertime when there's so much rain, but it is a beautiful place overall. There's the parking lot of the ferry terminal for Gabriola. And we're just walking. I'm going to take you to the cruise ship terminal, actually. Cruise ship terminal is about, yes, Zipper likes to pretend he's a tough guy, but he's not really. We're going to go to the cruise ship terminal. It's only about 5 or 6, well, maybe less than that minutes from here. And we'll just, I know there's no cruise ship terminal. There's no cruise ships here right now. We only get a couple per year, but we'll go have a look. And we'll have a look at the downtown. Whoops. Hello, cruising is fun. We're going to go to the cruise ship terminal. Coincidence that you're here right now. We'll be there. We'll be there in just a few minutes. This is the local Nanaimo cruise ship terminal we're heading to. We're sort of approaching the downtown from the waterfront right now. There's a Dollarama. That's sort of one of the popular dollar stores in Canada. This is Port Place Mall. And oh, we gotta press the stoplight here. Across the street. There's the ferry terminal again. Have fun on my cruise. Oh, thank you. One day I'm gonna have to try cruising. I actually haven't really been on a real cruise ship before. I've been on boats that are kind of like imitation cruises, but not really real cruise ships. And our cruise ship terminal, I'm gonna warn you, is not very beautiful. Like it's not very old, but it's also not super beautiful. So don't expect much from this location. And I think the city has plans to actually do some big renovations and turn this into something really nice. But right now it's kind of like an empty parking lot with a terminal, which almost never gets used. This area used to be just industry, and you can still see coming up a lot of industrial things in the area. I think over time they're all going to move, but right now there's still here, a lot of them over here. Hey, where are you going, Zipper? You don't get to eat oranges random on the ground. Come on. You want, no, you don't get to have an orange. Let's have a cookie instead. Come on. Some nice daffodils that are looking like they're almost done blooming. Hey, come on. We have a little bit ways to go, sir. Come on. Hey. There used to be a pulp and paper mill here, and it closed down a few years ago after there was a murder, believe it or not. One of the disgruntled employees came back and believe, murdered their boss. I might have the story wrong, but I know they were murdering one of their other fellow workers after something happened at work. So that was not cool, but a couple years later they closed down. I don't think it was because of that, but something else. Come on. And what you see in the distance is the ferry, again, from a different view. We can't go right up to the cruise ship terminal, but I'll be able to show you from a distance what it looks like over the water, essentially. This is kind of the area right beside it, which I believe they're going to turn into some kind of park at some point, but right now it is a big, vast parking lot, essentially, but nobody parks here. It's like a non-used parking lot. We're almost at the view of the cruise ship terminal. See if I can get relatively close before I stop to look at the view. Well, we'll do it here pretty soon. To look through this fence. I'll try to zoom in. This is not the terminal here, but see if I can zoom in. It kind of goes out over the water, way out. Can I zoom in some more? Okay, this structure, we're looking through a wire fence here, but this sort of bridge-like structure in the distance is where the cruise ship terminal essentially is, way out in the open water. I don't think the public can just go there, as far as I know, to the terminal area. It's only used a few times a year, so whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, zoom out. And what you see over here is boat spill response. That's a very common sight on Vancouver Island because we get gas and oil and all that stuff from the mainland. So we have quite a bit of these big and small vessels that are all for spill response. When there's a spill in the ocean, they try to clean it up as fast as possible so it doesn't cause too much environmental damage. And what we see over here, I believe this used to be part of the pulp and paper mill that shut down. These big structures. It used to be in this whole area, this whole vast parking lot area was part of that pulp and paper mill industry that used to be here. We're gonna head back to the waterfront and probably try to go to that plaza that I was talking about earlier, where they have farmers markets. There's no market today, but even though it's Friday, if it was summer right now, there would be a market happening. Okay, let's walk. We're gonna cut through this parking lot, I think, instead of just walking on the border. If you're just joining in, this is downtown Nanaimo. We just went to check out the cruise ship terminal from a distance, and we are heading back to the waterfront park. Some people call it Mofeo Centennial Park, and we're gonna go have a look at this multi-story plaza that is in our park. Oh, good morning, Joy. Vlog CA. Happy Good Friday to you. Happy Easter to everybody. We're just going for a walk downtown. It's nice and sunny. We're gonna hit the ocean again soon. These are some of the bike lanes the city made in the last few years. It's kind of interesting though because we don't have that many cyclists in this city, so it almost seems a little bit wasteful for there to be so many bike lanes in our city now, because Nanaimo is great to cycle with during certain seasons, but we have so much rain that sometimes it's too much for people to cycle with in the winter or fall or early spring. This is a local downtown shopping mall, grocery store, liquor store, Subway, Dollarama, local dollar store, not really local but chain dollar store. There's the supervisor doing his morning supervisory work. And there's the expensive condos we looked at earlier on Cameron Island, which is part of Vancouver Island. It's like a fake island if anyone doesn't know this area. It's man-made. I don't know if you can see it, but they converted our traffic lights to have little, where are we? Symbols of bicycles. I don't think you can see it from here, but maybe we'll see it as we go by. Just waiting for our turn to cross the street. Seems like a long crosswalk. I'll see if I can show you the little bicycle street light. Hey, come on, off the road. Right here. Okay, let's go. There's the Cameron Island condo sign, which is not a real island. It's sort of a man-made peninsula that they built condos on. Some nice trees in bloom. Oh, thank you, Chris. Nice for you to join in today. Have a nice Easter. I'll see you later. More trees in bloom down here. Bye, Chris.
No, I know, but
There's the theater up close, a little closer than we saw before. And in the distance, you can see our local library hiding right behind, whoops, the theater. Whoop. And we're going to go into the park. Here's the map. This might have been what Chris was talking about earlier. Waterfront walkway, cruise ship terminal, Gabriola ferry terminal, museum, float plane terminal, commercial street, and here's the map. Sort of see what the overall city layout is like. This is sort of like the core of the city. It's a very long city. And we've got palm trees. I'll see if I can zoom in. There are palm trees throughout Nanaimo. They don't grow naturally here, but they grow well here. I believe these are windmill palms, and I have a few in my backyard that are really small. They overwinter just fine with no protection here, but it kind of gives us a little bit of a tropical vibe, even though we're not at all tropical. Okay, let's walk. We're gonna go up this little sailboat structure, which I will show you when we get there. We're just entering the park now to get to the plaza. Back around the marina area. This is the port of Nanaimo right here. If you're just joining in, I'm just downtown on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo today, and we're going for a local walk on the waterfront. I'm with my little mischief maker, golden retriever, garden supervisor. And this is the Nanaimo waterfront. We're heading up the stairs you see in the distance. You can see sort of a view of where we're going. They have lots of whale watching encounters here. I've never actually been, but maybe one day I'll try it out. So we're partway up here. Here's a little bit of an upper view. One more set of stairs to get to the parking lot level. And we're gonna keep, no zip, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go for higher. I don't love going up, hey, come on. Hey, stairs. I'm actually a bit afraid of heights, so I try not to look down too often, but doesn't stop me from doing too many things. I just don't look down. So, here we are, looking for whales. I doubt it. You don't see them often from our harbor. There are areas where you do, but not here. More likely a mermaid that washed up or some other odd smelling thing. I'll take a little look at the coast bastion from here. There's a somewhat closer view of the bastion we were talking about earlier. That used to be owned by the Hudson's Bay Company, one of the fur trading companies in early Canadian history. And very few of these still exist today in British Columbia. We might have a little bit of a closer look at that in a minute. This is the plaza in the summertime where we have lots of farmers markets, typically Friday mornings, sometimes other times. And it'll be bustling with little shops and people and businesses and all kinds of entertainment. And nobody is here. It's empty today. There's beautiful trees. They're just gorgeous with all the leaves when they get them, and you can see some daffodils in the background. Here's a better look at our bastion over here. And let's see if the cannon is still over there. This is the plaza we were looking at. I believe it's called Pioneer Plaza. And here's a little bit of seaplane art on this electrical box over here. Oops. So, just heading over. They just renovated the bastion a few years ago, or in the last couple years. It's all locked up for the season right now, but oh yeah. This is evidence of a big problem in our city. That's all I'm going to say about that. We have a problem with homeless populations here. Come on, let's go. I think they moved the cannon, actually. I think I know where it might be, but it should still be around. Oh, there's the anchor. I wonder if they moved it by the anchor. The cannon. Daffodils blooming. It's a very beautiful site. This is an original anchor and some nice flowers. Let's see what we've got over here. Anchor Park is where we are right now. And I swear the cannon used to be here, but I wonder where it went. Keep moving things around. The smell of these hyacinths is very intoxicating. It is absolutely very powerful and beautiful. Probably not good for my allergies though. You can see a few more palm trees in the distance here. Don't think we're going to be able to find that cannon. They really hit it well. I wonder where they put it. I'll have to research that. There used to be two of them that they used to fire off. There's another tree in bloom. We're gonna head back into the plaza. The fountain has no water in it, so that's why I didn't show it to you, because it's kind of boring without the water. We're going to head to the life-size chessboard that you'll see in a minute. There's no chess pieces here though. Here it is. And this is a beautiful azalea blooming right now. How lovely. And there's the Lighthouse Bistro restaurant. Well, I think I'm going to end my live chat here. Thank you everyone for joining me this morning. And we'll see you very soon in another video. Happy Easter!